Hello, welcome back to the BMC Panther Talk podcast, and today we're going to be talking about childhood video games. I'm here with
Nathan Casey.
Ashlyn Greenwood.
And Nathan. We're going to start with you since you're at the end of the line. What are some video games you played as a child?
Oh boy, there's a very wide variety. Can I just go with consoles instead, just so it's easier?
Sure.
Because I played a mixture of new gen, old gen, because when I was little, I had the old school Sega Genesis with 32-bit extension. I had the SNES, and also I had a Wii and Xbox 360.
What games did you play, Ashlyn?
I played the bargain bin DS games like Nihao Kylan and Dora Pet Shelter and My Pillow Pet.
Pillow Pet? That's haunting. The first games that I first played was, my dad had a picture of me playing, I think it was Mario Kart, but on the Wii, and I was like 4 years old, and I had a spiked up mohawk as my first haircut.
I remember Mario Kart and the Wii. Mario Kart Wii is the best Mario Kart game. Easy. Like, no competition.
I liked it on the Wii, but my favorite Wii video games to play were the Wii Sports series for anything. I like the original bowling. It's much better than the Resort.
I sadly don't have a lot of memories with Wii Sports because my two Wii Sports discs almost immediately got scratched up.
That's depressing.
Yeah. But it was fun to just play like those, like, because while Ashlyn was playing bargain bin DS games, I was playing bargain bin Wii games. I had like bargain bin bowling. I was the one kid who just had the Food Network game. They have an official Food Network game called Cook or Be Cooked, and I remember my favorite dish in that game to make was the lasagna, because it was just you had to actually sit down and wait. There was a speed up button, but I never wanted to speed it up. I just wanted to feel the experience. Even as like a 10-year-old, I just wanted to just sit in front of the oven and wait.
Lasagna.
Yes.
Was your favorite to make?
Yes, because it took the longest to cook, so that meant I could just leave and actually make food while I wait for the lasagna to cook in the game.
I wouldn't have enough patience to make some digital lasagna, but when I was like 10, I played a lot of Super Smash Bros. And I played Kirby for the longest time as a main character, and then after I played, I think it was Bowser for a while.
Same, hold up. Fist bump, quick fist bump.
Oh yeah.
Exact same thing for me. I started off playing Smash Bros. On the Wii, and I remember my favorite character to play was King Dedede. Don't know why I was attracted to the fat penguin with a sledgehammer. I just was. And also
lasagna, apparently.
I mean, he did have the same color palette. And also, I played Kirby on the Wii, Return to Dreamland, and Kirby's Epic Yarn. Kirby's Epic Yarn was a really fun collectathon game where you just had to collect a bunch of things, and Return to Dreamland was a fun multiplayer experience to get to play with the whole family. Because it's just like, you can jump infinitely, so it's not like, I'm too bad at platforming. It's just like, you can press buttons and mash, and you'd basically be fine on like easy difficulty.
Speaking about family games, Ashlyn, I know that you've probably played a lot of weird games. Have you played any weird family games before?
Actually, yeah. On our PS3, my brother and I, there was this game called Let's Start the Party. So it would use the recorder, like there was a camera that you could have on top of your TV, and it would use that to motion sensor the like controllers you had, and it would take a photo of your face and put that in the game. So there was one where you had to like swap flies and stuff like that. It was really weird, but it was always my favorite, and I still have the game.
That reminds me a lot of WarioWare. Doesn't that like?
I did play WarioWare a lot with my brother as well.
It reminds me a lot of that. Just thinking
about the Mario mini games, where it's like there's like a board and you can move around. And
Mario Party, yeah.
Yeah, I remember I played like a really old version.
Yeah, like the N64 version.
Yeah, there was one where you had to like record your voice for like one of them.
Nah, I think it was just like you blow into the mic. I never remembered anywhere you had to.
You had to like mimic the voice of one of the other characters on it.
Oh, on the DS, that one.
Yeah, that one was so bad. I would scream at the top of my lungs.
Just like
would play it back.
Just like whenever you had to mimic Toad, it was just like you could hear your family just like secretly whisper, just like, "Oh no."
Yeah, my dad was scared for me as a kid. kid. I was
just like you're screaming at the top of your lungs at like 7.
Yeah. Every time that mini game came up, he was like, "Oh God, not again."
I remember I used to play a lot of Pokemon as well.
I was big into Pokemon for a long time.
Yeah, I remember my first Pokemon game was Pokemon Y, Gen 6, Kalos, and the funniest part was the legendary in the game, you know, in the box. The legendary Pokemon literally was shaped like a Y, which was the funny part. I think its name was like Yveltal or something. It was pronounced weird, like it had a Y in
yeah. He was like a big bird or something, like big red and black.
Yeah,
bird.
He was like some evil bird.
Of course you like him. He was red. He was lasagna colored. And then his shiny version was red and gold, so he made it
No, it wasn't gold, it was white. It was red and white.
It was red and white?
Yeah, it was red and white. The original one was red and black, like our school colors.
Oh yeah. He does look like lasagna a little bit though. I would say it's arguable. He looks like a Y-shaped lasagna.
I never played Pokemon games as a kid. I know my brother did, but I don't know which ones. But I would watch him play on the PS3, the Sonic Unleashed and Sonic Adventure 3 with the Chow Garden. That was my favorite part. I'd always beg him to let me play as Sonic and go to the Chow Garden just so I could play with the Chows. That's the only thing I would do.
I sadly would never had that luxury of playing like the more modern Sonic games till a good while after. I was stuck playing like the OG Sonic 1, 2, 3 and Knuckles and CD. I also had a weird spin-off where I had Dr. Eggman, but back then his name was Dr. Robotnik. The game was called, and I cannot stress this enough, this is actually a real game, look it up, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, where it was basically a think Tetris kind of puzzle game. It was like that. It was fun.
If it's got lasagna or beans in it, Nathan's gotta know what it is.
Sounds like a bargain bin game to me.
It probably was.
Yeah.
If I had to look it up where it came from, it's probably gonna be like some random factory in Japan.
No. Probably.
Did it come with lettering on it that was in like Japanese?
No.
And under Mean Bean it just started speaking like Vietnamese underneath it?
It was all English. Like I think it might have been UK actually, but there's one more Sega game that I had on my Genesis that I really do remember fondly. And that was a game called Bonanza Brothers, which does also sound like a bargain bin game, but these guys were like, Sonic wasn't the Mario of the Sega Genesis for me, it was those guys, Mobo and Robo. That's what their names were, the Bonanza Brothers. And basically, they're two thieves breaking into a bunch of places, trying to steal a bunch of stuff. And I did not notice this for the longest time. They looked like Legos, and they was just like they had like things. I thought they were shooting like ketchup out of their guns. It's because I never played as Robo, the blue one. I didn't realize it was color coordinated for like the shooters things. They're like laser guns. It's crazy.
I've never played that game, unfortunately.
Yeah,
it sounds like fun.
It is fun. It's even better multiplayer, like 2-player.
There's 2-player mode?
Yeah, there's a 2-player mode.
I might have to try it. I might have to like look it up on some random shady web browser.
It's sadly expensive now, but I know another cheaper way than probably buying the console and the Genesis itself would be just getting the Sega Genesis Classic, because I know it's on there.
I might have to try it, because if you're shooting like lasagna paste, then I'm gonna have to try that. It has to be something with it. Like if you could sit and like cook digital lasagna, then you gotta be like some kind of determined man. Like,
and not press the speed up button. Just resist the urge.
Rewind to like the lasagna. What did you do with it afterwards? Did you?
It's just like it's just
digitally consumed
like,
it?
No, it's just like after you take it out of the oven, you season it, you get a score, bam, you're done.
It's like Cooking Mama. Like I always played Cooking Mama, and it was like there was one recipe. Like he always cooked lasagna. I always made these marshmallows on a stick, and I would always mess up like forming them, and Cooking Mama would yell at me every time.
Yeah, for me it was just
so I had to keep doing it to get it right.
I remember like there were two people that were constantly yelling at me, and it was like they were like actual, I don't know their names now, but they were like people that were on Food Network, like actual real people that were like yelling at you, just like, hey, The soup's cold.
Just Gordon Ramsay just screaming at you. Just your
One of the guys did
lasagna's
sound like Gordon
unseasoned.
Ramsay, but the problem was he had glasses and like really dark hair, like not like blonde. Like,
Could you like burn the lasagna when you were cooking it?
when I first was trying to do stuff, I was too scared to actually figure out what I was doing. Like, the first one was bacon and eggs. I could not cook the bacon.
I would probably just like take the eggs and cook them until they're like just a big black burnt blob, and just give it to whoever the judges were, so they would scream at me.
Yeah.
I've never played any old cooking games.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What else did I play?
I played Rhythm Heaven Fever a lot, which was a fun one on the DS. I mainly played DS games. That was like my only console. The rest were all my brothers or like family consoles.
Rhythm games. What was it called? I remember on the Wii, this was a weird bargain bin item, but not really. It was a DDR pad. And someone was selling this at a garage sale with 2 Dance Dance Revolution games. And the problem was, the Wii was upstairs. So you can only imagine, like, late Friday night, what I would be up to.
And then underneath you, your mom's just...
It's just like, it sounds like...
She's scared for her life because she thinks the floor is gonna cave in.
Yeah, and honestly, it's just like, they had It's a Small World on one of them, and they had like a hardcore mix for It's a Small World, and it went hard. It was the best song on there. Just the hardcore mix of It's a Small World.
I remember when I was like 8, I went to an arcade and some guy was going ham on the Dance Dance Revolution thing, and I was like, I want to do that, and I tried it, and I got a score of like 10, and I sucked. But then this guy with like a beanie, he was like 6'3", about like 70 pounds, built like a stick, and he had like hair to like his hip bones. He just hopped on the thing and started going ham, and I was like, this guy's crazy.
Yeah.
And he perfected like every song. I sat there for 15 minutes as he just scrolled through songs and perfected them.
Just in awe.
I was shocked. I never expected this guy to just come out of nowhere and start going ham on the Dance Dance Revolution machine.
Did you guys ever play Just Dance as kids?
Yes.
Because we would always play it on our PS3, because it was our main console, and we would play moves like Jagger and like 24 Karat Magic. Those were the only ones we ever did.
Yeah. For our family, there was only one song, actually 2, that we deliberately avoided. And this
Michael
is on
Jackson.
This is on the Wii. There were only 2 that we avoided. We avoided What Does the Fox Say and Let It Go.
I avoided Michael Jackson.
Were you scared of Michael Jackson as a kid, Ayden?
Yeah, I actually was. When I was 6, I was dancing to Smooth Criminal, and I decided to I did 360, and I fell and I hit my head off the wall, and I ended up splitting my head open. And then the year after that, I was dancing to I can't remember. It was Billie Jean, I think. I did the same thing. I fell on concrete and I split my head open again in the same spot twice. So I was like, no more Michael Jackson. And my dad convinced himself that he was like a backup dancer for Beyonce or something, and he would just start busting it down on Just Dance.
Yeah, I remember.
It was crazy.
My 2 favorite songs on Just Dance for the Wii, I think it was 2014 or 2015 or 2016, whatever. It was. What was it? It was Walk This Way. That was one of the favorite ones. Like, Walk This Way.
Oh, yeah.
Walk This Way. That was one of my favorite songs to do, because that was one of the few songs my grandpa could do as well.
You would dance to that? Your grandpa? He would
Like, we danced together on that. And just like, also, Don't Worry, Be Happy. Those are the 2 songs that me and my grandpa could do together, and we both perfected them.
I can just imagine your grandpa trying to get up and his bones are rattling. He's like, oh, my old bones. He starts just busting it down, going crazy, just perfecting the song.
Yeah, at that point in time, he was just starting to bald, but he had like a full head of like gray hair that almost looked like an afro, kinda.
He was like, oh, I'm gonna throw my hip out doing this. And he starts dancing.
Nah, I mean, he's used to like doing physical stuff like that because he stacks stone a lot. But anyways, I remember I played Pokemon on the Wii, and there's a specific game where it's just like you're given a set team, and you have to fight other teams, and that's what introduced me to like competitive.
I'm Ayden Dumas.
I'm Nathan Casey.
I'm Ashlyn Greenwood.
And we hope you enjoyed this podcast from BMC Panther Talk.